Public hearing number 2. The petition of Anthony J. Panico and Associates to amend the zoning text of section 33.19, subsection 33.19A through 33.19J, entitled Elderly Living, Non-Assisted Facilities, and a special exception application that it would allow the creation of 8 55 years and older units of residential housing at 240 Hemingway Avenue, East Haven.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. For the record, my name is Anthony Panico. I'm a planning consultant with offices at 20 Mountain View Road in Bethany, Connecticut. The first item of our request for public hearing tonight is a request to the Commission to consider an amendment to the zoning regulation text, with the purpose being to expand upon the availability of suitable sites for senior housing that are in the vicinity of East Haven Center. Currently, there's no method for the Commission to legally restrict housing for senior citizens in and around downtown East Haven unless they're either large projects on very large sites or they are apartments that are above commercial establishments. The large sites would require at the present time a 4-acre minimum. The proposed text amendment that we've offered would allow the Commission then to consider restricted senior adult-only housing units on sites of at least 20,000 square feet if the site is located on a state highway and if it is positioned within 1,000 feet of the intersection of Main Street and Hemingway Avenue, in other words, at the corner of the green. By doing that, it would mean that within walking distance of sites of this nature, there would be the various required supporting services such as shopping opportunities, doctor's offices, the town hall, the library, all within walking distance. In addition, there would be scheduled bus service also available to the site. With these controls, the Commission can specifically then restrict who can occupy those senior units by law, and not simply rely on the owner's say-so. The text amendments would in fact implement and be consistent with the plan of development, the plan of conservation and development, your recently adopted document, as it relates to housing opportunities for seniors and empty nesters. The second item of our public hearing is a site-specific request for the consideration and approval of a special exception for a small senior adult housing proposal for property that's located at 240 Hemingway Avenue. With me tonight are Mr. Frank Carucci, one of the owners of the property, and Mr. Jonathan Boswell, professional engineer who has a responsibility for site engineering. If I could step away from the mic for a moment. I have mounted on a map before you a survey of the property, and I'd like to just run you through it and orient you. The site is situated on the westerly side of Hemingway Avenue. The center, the green is located here, Main Street is running in through here. And it stretches from White Place on the one side to Road Court on the other side. It contains approximately 20,659 square feet. And at the present time on the site, in this corner, the northeast corner, there's a two-family house in existence that crowds up to Hemingway Avenue right at the back of the sidewalk and crowds the line on Road Court. Attached to that house at the present time is a very lengthy addition that strings out along the northerly property line, which is the street line of Road Court. And that purpose of the addition is to house what the former Paul's Bakery and Pizza restaurant. The balance of the site is used in a semi-formal way for parking and support activities in conjunction with the two-family house and the bakery and restaurant. Although the site is in a residential R1 zone, this commercial use of the site is a pre-existing non-conforming use that in fact predates your zoning regulations. All utilities are available at the site. Rather than reopen the non-conforming bakery and restaurant use, the current owners would rather replace it with a use that's more compatible with the adjacent residential neighborhood, a residential use. So we have developed a site plan, and I'd like to just take a couple minutes and go through some of the salient points of that site plan. The proposal we have submitted would retain the house that's up on the corner, right at the back of the walk of Hemingway. We've demolished the balance of that string of buildings that extends down from the back. In place of that, what would happen would be the construction of a single building approximately in the middle of the site, meeting all the setbacks of the residential R1 zone, and housing 6 townhouse senior age restricted housing. Driveway from Hemingway Avenue, which I understand has been a thorn in the side of the town in the past, it was an unsafe condition, would be closed. There would be 2 driveways from Dwight Place serving 2 parking lots with a total of 2 parking spaces for each dwelling unit, both the ones that are being proposed and the existing ones. So whereas your current zoning regulations for elderly only require 1, in fact, since this is young elderly, we are providing 2 for each unit. The entire site would be landscaped, as you can see in the various green areas, and we would propose to erect a 6-foot privacy fence along the common property line with our only neighbor, as well as along Road Court, to assure that there would be no inadvertent trespass from Road Court into the back of the site. The building there would also be new curbing and sidewalk established along White Place. At the present time, they're very informal driveway entrances, and there is no curbing at all, and there's no sidewalk. So what we would do is establish a curb line, defined aprons, and a new sidewalk that would connect with the sidewalk that now exists on Hemingway Avenue. The building itself would be of a traditional design with pitched roofs and clapboard siding. It's designed to have a residential flavor that's in keeping with the residential neighborhood adjacent to it. All of the units are designed with a bedroom on the first floor, and all of the units would be designed to be handicap accessible. The development would be done in a condominium format, that is with the individual ownership of the units, and therefore there would be an association that would have the responsibility for the exterior maintenance of the grounds, snow removal, etc. This then would assure the continued upkeep and maintenance of the property so that it would not fall into a state of disrepair. There is a significant need for this type of housing in East Haven as our population continues to age. In that sense, we really are no different than most other communities. Lifespans increase, people living in the town want to stay in the town. There needs to be a broad opportunity for housing to accommodate those people. Seniors want to be close to the center of town, and they don't want to necessarily be forced to live in an apartment upstairs from a commercial activity. They would rather have that sense of ownership, some exterior outdoor space that they can enjoy for themselves. The proposal would give them that. With no school children in the school system, since these regulations would preclude anyone under the age of 18 from living on the premises, the proposal would create minimal impacts on town services and would pay far more in taxes than what they would derive in services. And with that, I would be happy to respond to any questions that one may have. Also, as I indicated, Mr. Boswell, the engineer, is here. We can answer any specific questions that may arise relative to site engineering. Really simple question.
trash collection point, or are you going individual?
No, there's a centralized disposal. In fact, the drawings I submitted, we had that discussion and we went back and evaluated it. And it looks like a location at that point would be the easiest to service, to be able to pick up. Since the handicap space is not always occupied, to maneuver and get out. It would be enclosed, it would be designed to complement the building since it would be attached to the
Site lighting.
Site lighting, we felt site lighting wasn't really necessary, but if the commission feels it is, because there is lighting at the intersection, and there will be each individual door will have lighting, so rather than inundate the neighborhood with a brightly lighted yard, we thought that that would handle the lighting requirements. If that's deemed not to be sufficient, we could certainly introduce some low-level post lighting, keep it at the residential scale of 12 feet or so rather than these high ones. They can be put on a timer so that they go off at a certain time.